All right, back again in. Let's do this. As always, pause the video real quick. Make sure you come up with your own answer. All right, so which of the following hormones is primarily secreted by the pineal gland? First thing first, I want you to understand the flow of hormonal control, or the level of regulation that goes into it. So your autonomic nervous system controls your hypothalamus, and your hypothalamus then goes on to control your pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is the master gland of the body. The pituitary gland secretes hormones and causes the release of certain hormones that go on to, down the line, cause the release of other hormones. But the main point is, every hormone in your body somehow, some way leads back to the pituitary gland affecting it, or the pituitary gland causing its release. So there is a mnemonic that I personally use, but as always, come up with your own mnemonic. So if we have the pituitary gland right here, and I'm saying pituitary, not pineal, the pituitary. If we have the pituitary gland right here, the structure is kind of weird, but it comes down to an anterior lobe and a posterior lobe. So the mnemonic is flat peg for the anterior side, and then AO for the posterior side. And so for the pituitary, and you need to know this, for the anterior side, I want you to guess, see if you know what it is before I tell you them all. But the F stands for follicle stimulating hormone, or FSH. The L stands for, you guessed it, luteinizing hormone, or LH. The A stands for adrenocorticotropic hormone, or ACTH. The T stands for thyroid hormone, so TH. Thyroid stimulating hormone, TSH. The P stands for prolactin. The E stands for, you guessed it, endorphins. And the G stands for, exactly, growth hormone. Or just GH. I should have wrote GH. And then on to the posterior side. The posterior side is ADH, or anti-diuretic hormone, also known as vasopressin, involved in the RAS system. Kidneys, know about that. And then the O is, you guessed it, oxytocin. So, as I said, the pituitary gland is the master gland, and it secretes these hormones from its anterior and posterior side to go on and affect the rest of the body. So knowing what the pituitary gland secretes, we can get rid of oxytocin, because that's from the posterior pituitary gland, and we can get rid of growth hormone. Now we're left with glucagon and melatonin. Well, let me get rid of this. You should know by now that insulin is released from which organ? If you said pancreas, you would be absolutely correct. Understand that insulin is in a back and forth dance with another hormone, which is glucagon. So insulin, you guessed it, insulin causes our cells to take up glucose more readily. In other words, it lowers our serum concentration of glucose. And glucagon, probably, you guessed it, does the opposite. It causes the formation of glucose and promotes the formation of glucose through certain means, or it may promote glycogenolysis. So regardless, in a lot of different ways, it acts to raise our serum glucose levels. So our extracellular glucose levels. All right. So because of that, we can get rid of glucagon. And so this is an example of process of elimination. Just knowing a little bit about the other options can help you narrow it down, even if you didn't outright know that the pineal gland secretes melatonin. I'll stop there. Peace and blessings. My bad. Let me circle that just to drive it home for anybody who... Oh, shit. What? All right, my bad. My bad. That's the right answer.